Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Everybody's been talking about Halo MCC's release on PC, including me. I'm super excited for it. Can't wait to see all of those games finally make their way to PC, starting with Halo Reach. And of course, over on Reddit, 343 did hold an AMA where a lot of information about the collection was revealed. One point is really going under the radar, and it's a point a lot of people were talking about when the collection was announced, and that's pricing. And unfortunately, this is the one element of Halo MCC that kind of sucks, and I wanted to bring it to light because as much as we are hyped for it, I like to bring everything to the table, and I'm still super excited for Halo MCC, don't get it twisted, but we have to objectively assess all the information we are given, and unfortunately, this is a little bit of a disappointment in terms of pricing, and I'll go over that and why I am a little bit disappointed, and there's a lot to digest with it. Also, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice has been released on PC. I know it is a brutally difficult game. It's definitely not going to be up everyone's alley. If you thought Dark Souls was challenging, man, going into Sekiro, you are in for quite a ride. However, it is clear as day that this game is incredibly successful on PC, as it's actually the biggest Steam launch of 2019 thus far. The peak player base over the last 24 hours has been insane, and it is a little bit surprising because we've had some notable game releases this year thus far. Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry 5, couple of other titles. Unfortunately, Metro Exodus, we don't have numbers on that in terms of Steam numbers because of course it didn't release on Steam, but Sekiro is doing incredibly well, so I want to go over that. And then the Detroit Become Human PC system requirements are out, one of the Epic Store game exclusives that I'm actually completely okay with, and we'll talk why I am. And it was a PlayStation 4 exclusive, now it's coming to PC. We've got the system requirements already, and they're looking quite hefty. For a game that ran just fine on the base PlayStation 4, these system requirements for the PC version are quite high, so we'll get to that. First off, Halo MCC, let's talk all about that, as I know all of us are super excited for it. However, a very interesting tidbit about the game has been revealed regarding its purchase options. Specifically, how is the game gonna be released? We know that the game is gonna be released one by one, starting with Halo Reach, and then chronologically with all other games. So Halo Reach, then Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and then wrapped up with Halo 4. That begs the question, are the games gonna be released separately? Are they gonna be released a part of the entire collection? These are the questions I was wondering about, and we got the answer. Specifically with the purchase options, they are gonna be released individually as each game releases within MCC, or as a whole at the end. You cannot purchase all games in the bundle before all have released. What that means is I think for the majority of you guys, you want to play Halo Reach right away when it comes to PC. Then you'll want to jump into Halo 1, then 2, then 3, then ODST, then 4. Now you guys are starting to see where the problem arises. I highly doubt that Halo Reach is going to be released at $9.99, and even if it's released at $9.99, we've got 5 games to go through, meaning that at the end of it, at best case scenario, if they're released at $9.99 a pop, you'll be paying $50 for the entire collection. Now, what if we raise it to $14.99, which I think it's going to be even more expensive than $14.99 a game? Well, then you see the price dramatically goes up at $75 for the entirety of the collection. But then what if it's $19.99, which I think is completely reasonable? I fully expect it to be around the $19.99 range. I could see it being a little higher than that. Well, $20 a pop now suddenly takes the Halo MCC to $100. If it's $25, you guys get where I'm going with this. Now, the MCC as a collection is going to be available as a whole at the end. That needs to be noted. It will be available as a whole at the end. You really want to wait that long to play Halo on PC? I don't know. Based on the excitement that I'm seeing around my comment section, on Twitter, on Reddit, I don't think anyone really wants to wait that long. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to pay a pretty penny for the Halo MCC on PC by the looks of it. Again, best case scenario, these games are released at $9.99 a pop. How likely is that? I don't know. Steam is also gonna be taking their cut, so Microsoft is inherently gonna be incentivized in raising the price a little bit so they do get more revenue. Also, it should be noted that this is not going to be a Play Anywhere title on Xbox One and PC, so if you own the Xbox One version, it actually looks like you're not going to get the PC version right away. They did say they're going to look at what they can do for Xbox One owners that want the game on PC, but in terms of getting the game right away on Windows 10 Store, it looks like that won't be a reality, and that means the game probably won't be on Game Pass, at least not right away. So that's a little bit of a bummer. The Game Pass part is a little bit on my speculation. Microsoft could by all means add the game to Game Pass and then offer the game that way as well. But as far as pricing goes, I saw a lot of people talking about how it shouldn't be priced more than $40, it shouldn't be priced more than $60. Maybe it'll be $60 at the end of things when the entire collection is out and you can buy it as a whole. But in terms of going game by game, and I know the majority of you guys want to do that, yeah, by the looks of it, you're going to be paying a lot of money if you want the entirety of the collection. Now, if you just want Halo Reach and you want to stick to that forever, and you don't even want to check out Halo 1 through 4, or you just want to buy the game that interests you the most, yeah, you can do that as well. But I imagine the majority of you guys want the entire collection, and in that case, depending on the price, again, anything over $10, if we're hitting that $15 threshold, $75 for the entire collection, and then it just goes up considerably after that. So something I definitely wanted to bring to light because it's going under the radar a little bit. One of the bummers about MCC on PC, but still, I'm super excited for it. And I saw people in my comment section saying that they'd pay $100, $150 for the entire collection. So I fully expect no matter what price this is released at, it is going to get an immense reception on Steam. Speaking of an immense reception on Steam, one game that has gotten critical reception through the roof and commercial reception through the roof is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is without a doubt the biggest Steam release of 2019 thus far. Peak player base over the last 24 hours was 124,266, and actually, as of the recording of this video, it hit that number just an hour ago. So it's Saturday and everybody's hopping on Sekiro and starting to play the game. And yeah, it's pretty incredible. I always talk about how I don't think you should be paying $60 for a lot of games. However, Sekiro was one exception in that it probably was going to be a game worth your full $60. And look at that. I think a lot of gamers agree with me. It has done incredibly, incredibly well. Now, I haven't gotten all too invested in the game. There's just so much to play right now. But by the looks of it, this is an incredibly difficult game. And if you thought the Souls games were challenging, Sekiro is going to raise the bar quite a bit and expect something quite challenging. I do think it's going to be a little off-putting to some people that are more accustomed to Western action-adventure games that aren't all too difficult. And in the case of Souls, it's not like those games were brutally, brutally challenging and unforgiving. I mean, you go back to some Super Nintendo titles, and those games were brutally challenging and unforgiving. In the case of Souls, I wouldn't say that they're all too unforgiving, but even Hidetaka Miyazaki, the director of the game, said that Sekiro was From Software's most challenging game to date, and that definitely goes to show. But even with that, it is doing incredibly well on Steam, and if you do buy it on Steam and don't like it, you don't like the challenge, you can always refund the game, so that's pretty nice. And lastly, I do want to give you guys a heads up on Detroit Become Human's PC system requirements. They are out, and of course, this is one of the Epic Game Store exclusives that if this game was announced for a Steam release, I think the reception would have been through the roof. I'm still pretty excited for it, and in a case like this, I am completely fine with this exclusive because I imagine that Epic Games are the ones that are helping making Detroit come to fruition on PC. That is what I want Epic Games to do more of. Instead of taking away games from Steam that are being promoted on Steam, help facilitate the creation of new games or new ports. And in the case of Detroit Become Human, that is what we're seeing. We're seeing it with Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, two other Quantic Dreams titles, and those are coming to PC as well. So as far as this game being exclusive, I really don't think you can be mad about it. Other games, it's another story. That's why I always say it's a little bit black and white, and there are shades of gray to assessing this situation. However, I want to talk the PC system requirements because they are hefty as hell. Minimum requirements, you're looking at an Intel Core i5 2400 at 3.4 GHz, 4 GB of RAM, and NVIDIA GTX 660 or equivalent, and 2 GB of VRAM. So that's pretty modest. That's not all too bad. However, then you look at the recommended requirements, oh boy. It's not detailed whether this is for 4K. If it's for 4K, a little bit understandable, but still super high-end, an i7 2700K or equivalent, 12 GB of RAM, or an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 or equivalent, and 8 GB of VRAM out of that one. Very big disparity between the minimum and recommended requirements. I imagine minimum requirements are for something like 1280 by 720 720p, getting 30 frames per second at modest settings, while the recommended requirements, I imagine that's got to be north of 1080p. If we're talking 1080p for the game and it's requiring a GTX 1080 and an i7 2700K, well, that's a little bit of a head scratcher considering, again, this game ran no problem on the base PlayStation 4, but just wanted to highlight those system requirements. We don't have a release date for Detroit on PC. I imagine it'll be out before the end of 2019, but exciting to see this game come over to PC. And hey, if Epic Games can throw a lot of money at Sony and bring some of their other games to PC, I know in the case of Quantic Dreams, it is a second-party title, so that's why it's a little bit easier to facilitate these games coming to PC. In the case of, say, a first-party game, like an Uncharted or a Last of Us or a God of War, that's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I imagine Epic Games could work out an agreement, and they have more money than God right now because of how successful Fortnite is. So they could definitely throw a lot of money at Sony, and if we're living in a world where Bloodborne or Uncharted or The Last of Us is available on the Epic Game Store, I think people are gonna start changing their tune on them very, very quickly. But that is just a hypothetical scenario. Don't be running around telling your friends that's gonna happen, because that's just speculation. But I don't think it's as out of this world as some of you guys might be thinking. So those are the Detroit system requirements, a little bit hefty, but as we hear more about the game, I will let you guys know in terms of a release date and things like that. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, as far as Halo MCC's PC release goes, it's probably gonna be pretty expensive, especially if you're looking to buy each game as they are released. Just do the math. I imagine they're all gonna be priced around the same, and that's gonna add up really, really quickly. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is doing incredibly well on PC, and the Detroit system requirements are pretty high-end. That's gonna wrap up this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.